Alright, yo, what up, everyone? Hopefully, you guys can hear me. Welcome back to another session of learning a STEM pre calculus on Aleks. Alright, so remember, subscribe, follow. All my channel links are in the description below. Give me likes or dislikes, comments down below during or after the live stream. So you guys will be able to find this video on my YouTube and Rumble. Alright? So make sure you check that out. Alright. Overhead. Okay, so let's see. Let me show you guys the screen. Alright, so we are, let's see, class progress 12 out of 681 topics. We've so far we've only worked on slice A and B of the pie, algebra and geometry review, and equations and inequalities, 7% each. And we're just going to continue off of it. Let's look at the timeline. Alright, so it looks like, how do I move to the left? How do I move it to the left? Can I drag it? I guess not. Okay, so Tuesday, December 23rd, I did 8 topics. I did 3 topics today, December 26th. Alright, and then I did the rest, so 8 plus 3 is 11. I did 1 topic in my first video, so this is the 4th video. Alright, so let's see. Let's just continue off today. Let's see how much we could get completed today, and also see if we're gonna be tested like one of the what's it called, you do a certain amount of questions or lessons completed, and then you get tested so you could master them. And let's see how many more until I reach that. I have 669 remaining, so it tells me right here. I don't have to do the math on that, I guess. Aleks pi detail, all topics. As you could see right here, you could get all the info on here. The reason why I put this on gamer to engineer, like from gamer to engineer, and like I put it under the topic for gaming instead of education, is because I see this as a game like a real life IRL affecting game. It's still a game to me because of the way that it is set up. It's not like a plus I'm using it as independent use, so self-teaching, self-learning, whatever. So you do it at your own pace. It's just better than actually going to public school. I've never been in private school, so I don't know how they do shit, but they're expensive. So college and school, yeah, education should be better. All right, ready to learn 102, learn 12, mastered 0. Let's just go home. Oh, over here, worksheet, assignments, reports. So what is, I'm just gonna look at my, like, all the little stuff that it has and see what I can check out and learn about this. So topics learned 11. I spent total of 2 hours 41 minutes between 22nd and 28th. Topic attempted and not learned 1. Okay, so we have to finish off from yesterday, or not yesterday, earlier this morning's topic. Initial knowledge check. That's what I was talking about. You get another knowledge check every net 20 or so topics. Attempted not learn needs more practice. View timeline detail. Alright, view full report. Let's see what else. Assignments. What is this? Initial knowledge check. Okay. Message center. Assignments. Review. Nah, let's not go to review dictionary. Alright, so everything is... Alright, dictionary definitions for everything that you're gonna learn. Alright, let's just go home, continue my path. Alright, see, it, yeah, it remembers where you left off. Cool. Alright, now I'm gonna quickly open up Pandora so that I'm not entirely bored as shit, because yeah, it could get boring. So I recommend, if you guys are watching this to actually learn or study, put some music on in the background. Alright, Lonely Teardrops, oldies. I love oldies. Let's see, let me switch scenes, and then let me test out the pen. Alright, it works. Alright, now we can continue. Alright, microphone is on, desktop audio is off, so you guys can't hear my music, and I won't get copyrighted. Alright. Evaluate the expression when x equals -6. So x squared plus 8x minus 9. Alright, so we have to evaluate. We're given x, so you have to plug in -6 into each of the x's. Alright. X squared plus 8x minus 9. And then x equals -6. So we're going to plug that in. Alright. -6 squared plus 8. -6 minus 9. Alright. Now, negatives squared is a positive, so 6 times 6 is 36, plus 8 times a -6. It's always going to be a negative, so let's go back and change that symbol from a plus to a minus. Alright, 8 times 6. So, let's see. 8 times 8 is 64. So, minus 8 and minus 8, that's 16, right? So 8 times 2, because it's missing 2, or actually 8 times 8 is 2 more, like multiplying 8 2 more times together, right? So 8 times 2 is 16, alright? In my head, I'm trying to explain to you guys how I'm doing it in my head. It might not be working so well. You guys might not get it. Alright, so 8 times 8 is 64, right? Now minus 16, because the what's it called? We're actually looking for like 8 times 6. So we went and did 8 times 8, which is 2 more. So 8 times 8, 64, minus 12 equals, let's see. So there's a 2. And minus 1, so 64, 52. Or just because I like, if you don't memorize what 8 times 6 is or whatever, you can also do it going downwards instead of like 8 times 8, 64 minus 12. You could go, alright, so if you know what 8 times 5 equals, which is 40, just add 8 on top of that. Alright, so let's see, 8 times 5, so I must have messed that up, huh? Yeah, let's just do it like this. 8 times 6 equals 48. So yeah, I fucked up here. I did the subtraction. So 8 times 8 equals 64. And 8 times 2 is not 12, it's 16. That's where I fucked up on. I had the numbers there, but when oh my god, when I'm speaking, I messed up. I sidetracked myself in my head. Shame on me. Shame on me. Oh, come on. Erase that shit. There we go. Alright, so erase this. It's 48. Alright, so 8 times negative 6 is negative 48. And then minus 9. Alright. Now, right here, you could do this part here first. Let's see. You know it's going to be a negative. Just focus on 48 minus 36. Alright, so that's going to be 12 minus 9. And then they're common terms, so that's going to equals negative 21. So the answer is negative 21. You guys could also do it this way right here. So you go 36, and then you do these two first in your head or on whatever. Write it down. So that would be negative fucking 56, right? No, 57. 57. And then you subtract 36 from that. Alright. So you know that's going to equal a negative. And then you could just do fucking 57 minus 36 over here. So you know that's going to equal 21. So you bring the 21 down here. You could do it in so many different ways. Now let's just check the answer, see if we're right. We did it two different versions, two different ways, and we still got negative 21. So it should be correct, and it is. Alright. Alright, let me drink some soda. Excuse me. Now let's erase this shit. Alright. Before I write anything down, this slice is on algebra and geometry review. Topic name is multiplying binomials with leading coefficients of 1. Alright, multiply these two. So we're just going to distribute. Simplify your answer. We want to remove the parentheses from the product, u plus 1 and u minus 8. We first multiply each term of the first factor, u plus 1, by each term in the second factor using the FOIL method. So same as we did before. The first, outer, inner, last. First, outside, inside, last. Alright, so first we multiply the u's. You guys know how to do it, right? Yeah, you guys know how to do it. Product. Alright, this is how they're doing it. U plus 1, u minus 8, converts it to u squared minus u, minus 8u plus u. Combined like terms is negative 7u, and then minus 8. So that's the answer right there. You don't do anything else right there. That's all it's asking you to do. Multiply it, and then simplify your answer. Which, if you already FOILed it out, is basically combining like terms, and then that would be simplifying your answer. Alright, let me write down the question first. Okay. So u plus 2, and then we're multiplying u minus 8. Alright, so in my head, or in your guys' head, just without having to, like, do it. Shit. Fucking eraser. I hate goddamn Apple fucking pencil, man. Anyways, u squared, and then the u minus 8, and then the first outside, inside, and then the last. Instead of doing that, try to do it in your guys' head. So we're doing the first. Alright, so that's u squared. Alright, just visually look. Hopefully you guys are understanding. Alright, now we're looking at the 2. I mean actually the u and the negative 8. So we're multiplying those two together. That equals negative u, 8u. Now we're doing the first outside, inside. Okay, we're on the inside part. So that's the 2 and the u. Multiply that together. That's positive 2u. Now we're looking at the 2 and the negative 8. Alright, that's negative 16. Now combine these like terms. Alright, so you get u squared, and you get negative 6u minus 16. That's the answer right there. Don't do anything else. You simplified it already. Alright. U squared minus 6u minus 16. And check it. And then we got it right. Alright, next one. Multiply. Still the same thing. We're going to keep doing that until we get 5 out of 5. The little fraction over here. Till we get all bars, and then we can move on to the next one. Alright. W minus 3. And we're multiplying that w plus 4. So now that is w squared. Okay. And then we're looking at the 4. So plus 4w. Now we're looking at the inside. That's negative 3. Jesus. Negative 3w. And then we're looking at the negative 3 and the 4. So it's going to be negative 12. Combine these like terms right here. Bring down the w squared. The like terms combined. There's only one w left over, and it's positive, because the positive 4 is bigger than the negative 3. Alright. Then minus 12, and that's our answer. Slipping into darkness. Pandora. Gotta love it. This is by War. Slipping into darkness. W squared. Alright. Plus W. Where's the plus? Plus. Nope. Plus. W. Minus 12. Alright. Correct. Alright, next. Alright, let me check the stream. 20 minutes in. Alright. Looks like everything's good. And let's just continue. You know what? I think it's because this thing I keep accidentally pressing shit. So let me see if I... Yeah, I'll move that up there. So I can hopefully stop pressing the eraser button. Maybe that'll fix my problem. Because I'm already wearing gloves so that it could, what's it called? For touch, what's to resist the touch of the tablet. All right, so x plus 7. Shit, that was my fault. X plus 7. X minus 2. All right, that equals x squared because we're doing these right here. Then we're doing x and then negative 2. All right, so minus 2x. And then inside, that's a plus 7x, and then we're doing the last 7 and negative 2. That's going to be a negative. 7 times 2 is 14, so 14. Combine like terms. X squared. Let's see, the positive is bigger, so it's going to be, at the end, it's going to be a positive. So 7 minus 2 is 5. That's 5x. And then minus 14. That's our answer. There you guys go. All right. X squared plus 5x minus 14. Checking. And we're correct. Alright, next. Keep it up. Yay, continue my path. Alright. Next, algebra and geometry review. Let's see. Slice name, algebra and geometry review. Topic name, order of operations with integers. All this shit is, again, it's fucking review. So we're not even doing any pre-calculus yet. We're reviewing shit. Algebra and geometry, and then linear inequalities. Learning page, evaluate. So minus 5, or yeah, negative 5 minus a negative 4. So we're gonna have to distribute these two first, times 9. There are two operations to this problem: a subtraction and multiplication. Alright, so the subtraction right here, the multiplication. We must follow the rules for order of operations. PEMDAS, you guys. PEMDAS. Alright. Alright. Do the multiplication before the subtraction, it says right here. So we're doing these right here first. Okay, I thought we were going to do this first. Okay, whatever. Then I was wrong. We're doing the negative 4 and then the 9 first. And then we're going to leave the negative or the minus subtraction symbol in between the 4 and the 5. Just leave it there and just bring it down. So negative 5 minus negative 36. Alright, two negatives equals a positive. That's why it says plus 36. The 36 is positive and it's bigger, so it's going to end up being a positive number. So 36 minus 5 is 31. Okay. Evaluate. Alright, let's write this shit down. Okie dokie. So negative 20 divided by negative 4. Nope. So it wasn't because of this fucking feature. It's the pen. It's thinking that when you double tap, it switches from pen, from like in the eraser. So right now it's thinking I'm using the eraser. I'm trying to use the pen. Negative 4 plus negative 4. Alright, let's see, we got that written down correctly. Alright, so first we're going to do PEMDAS, PEMDAS. So parentheses, Okay, we're looking at the parentheses. Okay, so there's nothing like right next to each other. Let's see. E exponents. There's no exponents. Pem multiplication. I don't see no multiplication there, but I do see division. So pem das. We're on the D. Geekity. So we're doing this first right here. So the negative 20 and the negative 4, when you divide or multiply two negatives, it equals a positive. So we know that we don't really have to worry about the symbol. So what is 20 divided by 4? 5. There you guys go. Now we could bring down the plus negative quattro, negative 4, and that will equal 1. Stop. I don't want you to do the math for me. God damn it. 1 is the answer. She's a lady. Whoa, whoa, whoa. She's a lady. Let me put the volume up for me. You guys can't hear the music, but you guys listen to your guys' own music in the background. All right. Negative 3 plus in parentheses a negative 6, and then we're multiplying that by a negative 6. Alright, so PEMDAS. First we're going to do this one right here because it's multiplication. PEM. Alright, multiplication comes first. So a negative and a negative equals what? A positive. Alright, well 6 times 6. 36. Alright, now bring down the negative 3 plus 36. The 36 is positive and is the bigger number. So it's gonna equal a positive number. Was 36 minus 3. Alright, you could shift that to bring that over here. 36 minus 3. Alright, and that's how you get your answer over here. 33 is the fucking answer, you guys. You guys could do that in your guys' head. If you can't, you need to practice. Alright. 33. Check. Got it right. 2 in a row. Double credit. Alright. If we get one more right, we can skip to the next lesson. If I fuck up, either through like doing the work or typing in the answer, then we're gonna have to do extra questions. 20 divided by the negative 5. You guys could also be like pausing it, trying out the fucking equation your guys' selves, and then seeing our methods of solving it, and then seeing if we both get the like the same exact answer, and if we don't, like who's right? Am I wrong or are you guys wrong? We'll find out. All right, PEMDAS. So here is a subtraction, right? So we're not doing any subtraction first because PEMDAS, PEMDAS, is the order of operations. So we're not doing the parentheses or like we're not working with any of those parentheses, right? E, exponents. I don't see no exponents here. Division. I see a division here. So we're the Jesus Christ. The division is right now. Alright, so we're going to do these two first. With 20 divided by a negative. So there's one positive and one negative. Alright, a positive and a negative equals a negative. So just bring down the negative. And then what's 20 divided by 5? 4. And then we bring down the minus right over here. And then the negative 10. And then right here we could distribute this. 2 negatives equals a positive. So it's negative 4 plus 10. 10 is the bigger number, so it's going to equal a positive. Alright, so it's 10 minus 4, which is 6. Alright, I'm baby stepping it on purpose. Like, I could skip this shit, but whatever. There's someone out there. You guys don't have to feel ashamed if you're retarded, like, and you know you guys' issues. You don't know something, you're here for a reason. You guys are either bored and like math, or you guys are suck at math and are trying to learn. Either or, whatever. It's useful to just keep practicing. Alright, we all forget shit from school, and then we all make mistakes in fucking life, so. Alright. Graphs and functions. Alright, so this is a different slice. Topic name, graphing a line given its equation in slope-intercept form, integer slope. Alright, graph the line. Y equals 2x minus 7. We need at least 2 points on a graph, to graph the line, I mean. First, we choose some x values, then we evaluate y equals 2x minus 7 for each of the following x values. Alright, so 2 points. You could always start with 0 first and then 1, okay? Always like the low 0, 1, and 2. Alright, so if you plug in 0 for right here, 0 for x, then you basically solve for y, alright? 0, y equals 2x minus 0, so he's plugging in 0 to here, right? 2 times 0 is 0, anything times 0 is 0, and then you subtract 7, so the answer is negative 7. So for the x coordinate was given 0, right? And you figured out that the y coordinate is negative 7. So the xy coordinate is 0, negative 7. Alright, so x, y. That is where you're going to put on the graph the little dot, the little point. Alright, and then for the second, choose a different value for x, 1 or 2. You don't need to do the second one. If you do 1, 2 times 1 is 2. Subtract 7 is negative 5. So the x coordinate is the 1 and then the negative 5. That's how you got this coordinate for the other point. And then you just make a line. Alright? There you guys go. You guys are going to see how Aleks, like how they programmed it so that you could input an answer. Start. Alright, so for this, you don't really need to write anything down unless you guys want to. Fucking overachievers. Writing notes and shit, like if you guys are gonna go back to your guys. I mean, I don't go back to my notes. I don't even know why I make notes. I just want to do the math continuously and then try to remember that shit as much as I can. I'll forget most of the shit, but whatever sticks, and I could do the math. Alright, now the notes and shit, pretty much the only thing that I would say that notes are good for in math is to write down the equations and then like the topic that equation is for. And then hopefully you guys can remember what kind of math you guys are doing it or what the equation helps you with. So like right next to the equation, you could put example 1 or 2 examples of like where the fucking formula, I mean, is gonna be used, the definition or the formula for it. Anyways, graph the line. So the first point is always, alright, 0 for the x, and then you could always cancel out this right here. So if you plug in 0 for x, this right here is always gonna get deleted, alright? And then you could get the y coordinate negative 5. So immediately you could go to the y negative 5, all right, in your head, and then 0. So you stay on this line right here. On the axis, on the y-axis, 0, -5 is the first point. That's the easiest one you're going to do. Now, 1 is the next easiest. All right, 1 times -2 is -2. So that's going to be, let's see, -2 minus 5. That's -5. All right, so we chosen 1 for the damn x coordinate, right? So that's left and right. So we're looking at this line first. So if we choose 1, positive 1, just move the cursor over the 1. So we're looking at this. Now for the y-axis, up and down, we need to figure out and plug in. So 1 times -2 is -2. Now you subtract 5, it equals -7. So we're going down. Alright, so stay within the 1. Do not move over left or right. Stay on this one and then go all the way down to -7. So this is -6. This is -7. But remember, you're focusing on the 1 and then just connect it. Connect the point. Connect the point. Check it. And you're done. Easy. Alright. From just looking at y equals 3x minus 8, for graphing a line, the same shit. Plug in a 0. Alright. Stay on the axis, -8. So 0, -8 is our first point. That one's like the given. Then use 1. You plug in 1 here. 1 times 3 is 3. Minus 8 is -5. Alright, so we've chosen 1. Remember, we're right here on the x-axis. Now we're focusing whether we're going up or down. Alright, so -5. Right there. Now, if you forget, yeah, writing it down after you've done like the first part right here. Like the 1 times 3, 3. Minus 8, that's -5. So writing down -5 for the coordinates and shit will help you before you actually go input it. Because, yeah, it happens. I forget shit all the time. Fucking short-term memory loss. Alright. So, the more complicated the graph, let's say you get a linear equation, which means it's gonna make or form a line in a graph. This shit could get complicated, but as long as it's still a linear equation like this, like if there's variables attached to it or whatever, plus or whatever, you just gotta simplify it first, and then once you get it down to like y equals mx plus b, which is this shit right here, then you could do the same shit. Alright, so I'm just gonna get the pencil, stay on 0 for the y-axis, right? And then go to -1, because this right here tells me that's my first point. 0, -1 is my first point. Now plug in the 1 in the x. -1 minus 1 is -2. So right, we chose 1. Now we're going down -2. So there's a line and you just connect it. Alright, check it. Easy. Easy. Alright. Alright, algebra and geometry review. Exponents and signed fractions. Evaluate. Write your answers as fractions. Ooh, people hate fractions. Sometimes I do too. Alright. These expressions involve exponents. We evaluate as follows. Evaluating this is how they evaluate it. Alright, just -5 5 halves times -5 halves times -5 halves equals just negative. They just put the negative right there because two negatives, alright, a negative and a negative equals a positive, but times another negative brings it back to a negative, so that's why they put that negative right there. 5 times 5 is 25. Times 5 is 125. And then work on the bottom denominator. 2 times 2, 4. 4 times 2, 8. That's how they got 125 over 8, but negative. Alright. Evaluating this number right here. Note that the exponent applies only to the denominator. Alright, right here. So negative 2 over 3 to the power of 2. That means 3 times 3, which equals 9. Alright, and then the negative 2 just stays above. Alright, right here they just moved the negative in front. Now if this was a negative 3 to the power of 3, then it will be a negative. And if there's a negative on top and on bottom, this will not be negative 2 over 9. It would have been 2 over 9. Positive. Alright. So that's how you get two answers. We're doing two answers. Or we're trying to solve or evaluate two answers. Write your answers as fractions. Alright. So let's work on the first one. Let me drink some soda. Be happy. Don't worry. Be happy. Okay, you guys know what song is on Pandora right now. Alright, so for the first one it's 4, and then 3 to the power of 3, which equals 4 over 9, and you can't simplify that. So that's going to be the first one. Alright. Now you guys can continue, or you guys can write down the answer first before moving on. I'm going to type in the answer first, and then we can move on. Alright, there we go. There we go. Now let's do it down here, or on the side. We'll do on the side. Alright, so in parentheses, negative 4 over 3 to the second power. Alright, so that means we gotta multiply the negative 4 thirds times negative 4 thirds, right? So this equals minus 4 over 3 times negative 4 over 3. Alright. Alright, so a negative and a negative equals a positive, so let's just do it down here. Alright, what's 4 times 4? 16. And then now we did the numerator. What about the denominator? 3 times 3 is 9. Alright, now you got 16 over 9. Can you simplify that? Alright. Alright, I think you could simplify it by, let's see, 2? No. 2 is 9, okay. You could simplify it by 9, so, right? No? No? 9 times 9 is 18, not 16. So we'll just leave it as is right here. 16 over 9. We can't simplify it. Divided by 3? No. 6 times 3 is 18. 5 times 3 is 15, so nope. You can't simplify that. So now that's 16. 16 over 9. Alright. What? Your answer is incorrect for this one. Alright, let's see where I fucked up on. So it's saying that the top one is correct, but the second one is not. Alright. Four times 4 is 16. 3 times 3 is 9. 16 over 9. So does it want us to do a mixed fraction? Because it didn't tell me that in the directions. Let me use a mixed fraction. All right. 9 goes into 16 one time. And then there's 7 left over. So 7, 7, 9. All right, let's check that. Incorrect. All right, so let's see where I fucked up on. Evaluate. Write your answer as fractions. All right, so the top one, 4 over 9, 1 and 7 ninths. All right. Correct answer was 16 over 9. Did I? I typed that in wrong? 16 over 9. How did I type it in wrong the first time? I don't know. You like I can't go back on it, but you guys probably saw where I fucked up on. I don't know. I'm fucking up in my head, I guess. All right. Let's do another one cuz I'm a failure. All right. So, for our new problem, negative 4/5 to the second power. All right, that would be okay, so the negative it's gonna stay negative no matter what because the negative is outside the parentheses, so it's gonna be 4 over 5 4/5 times 4/5 equals 16. 5 times 5 is 25. All right, now you bring the negative over, negative 16 over 25. And I don't see it being simplified any further. So let's check this shit out. Negative 16 over 25. All right. Let's do this one down below. So 3 to the power of 3 over 4. All right, so 3 to the power of 3 is 9. 9 over 4. So that's the answer right there. You can't simplify that. 9 over 4. What? 3 times... Oh, wait, to the power... 3 times 3 times 3. So that's 27. I fucked up, you guys, again. See, I gotta slow down. I'm rushing it in my head. Alright, it's 27. Now... No, Siri, I'm not talking to you. God damn it, I fucking hate Siri. On my tablet, especially. God damn. Alright, so let's go back. So, 3 to the power of 3 is 3 times 3 times 3. And I only did this part. I need to do it one more time. So, 9 times 3 is 27. Right? 27. 27 over 4 is the answer. Alright. Now let's check it. There we go. Correct. Alright, so I gotta relax. I'm fucking up here. If you guys want to know which application I'm using to like do these notes, it's called Freeform right there on the left side, right here. Freeform is what I'm using to write it down. Alright, let me delete this shit. And then continue on the next problem. Okay. Write your answers as fractions. So let's do the top one first. Negative 3/2. All that to the second power. Alright, that equals negative 3/2 times negative 3/2, which equals 3 times 3 is 9. Alright, and then 2 times 2 is 4. Alright, and then 2 negatives equals a positive, so that stays positive. Now the bottom, we're going to do negative, and in parentheses is 1/4. All that to the 4th power, which equals 1 times 1, like 1 times 1 is 1, times 1 again is 1, times 1 again is 1. So the top part stays 1. Alright, just bring the negative over, because the whole thing is going to be a negative no matter what you do. Now 4 to the 4th power, that's 4 times 4, which is 16. Alright, 16 times 4 is 16 times 4 is 64, times 4 equals, okay, you're not smart enough to do that? Okay, so freeform is not smart enough to figure out that I'm trying to do 64 times 4 equals, one more time, solve it, 256. 256. And that's the answer right there. Sixteen times, okay, so 9/4. 9/4. And then I fucked up right there too. Backspace. 9/4. Then negative. Fuck. Undo this one. Okay. 1. Then 125 or 256. Alright, there we go. Check. And that's the right answer. There we go. Next. Evaluate. Write your answers as fractions. Last one. Hopefully, if I get it wrong, then I'm going to have to do more. Okay. The negative is on the outside, so no matter what you do, it's going to be a negative. Alright, to the 3rd power equals, so 1 times itself however many times is always going to be 1. Now, the answer is always going to be negative. What is 2 times 2? 4. One more time. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. So that's the answer. Negative 1/8. Alright, now let's do the next one. 4 to the 2nd power all over negative 5. Alright, so that would equal 4 times 4 is 16. Well, it's going to solve it for us right there in decimal form, but that's not what we want. 4 times 4 is 16. And then the negative 5 is on the bottom, right? Which is the same as just negative 16/5. Alright, that's the answer right there. I think if you write it down this way right here, it will also accept it. But let's just do it this way right here. Negative 16/5 for this one, and then let's input this negative fraction 1 over 8. Check it. Correct. All right. We did your progress. You learned 5 topics already. Continue. All right, let's see how much time I've spent with you guys. 56 minutes. Almost an hour, you guys. So I'm going to stop here. Let's read what this one is about first. So this last name is equations and inequalities. Topic name is additive property of equality with signed fractions. All right, and this is how the equation is going to look like. Solve for W. All right, W plus 7 over 8, 1/2. Simplify your answer as much as possible. We'll subtract 7/8 from both sides and simplify. All right, subtract it from both sides to basically that way W is by itself over here. And then we have 2 fractions, and we need the denominators to be the same. So 8 is going to be the highest denominator. I already know off the top of my head. How do you get 2 to 8? You multiply 2 times 4, so the bottom will equal 8. Now if you do whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top. So 2 times 4 is 8. 4 times 1 is 4. That's how they got 4/8 minus the 7/8 from before, and then you could actually subtract. All right, so basically you could in your head just like focus on the top part, because both the denominators are the same. They have this common denominator. 4 minus 7 is -3. That's how they got -3/8. All right, because you just bring down the 8. You know it's going to be an eighth. You're trying to figure out the numerator. 4 minus 7 is a negative. So 3. And the negative could be in the front or up here. It doesn't matter, but this is how you do it. Anyways, before we leave, let's go to our reports. I spent today a total of 2 hours and 20 minutes on Aleks. Let's see. Friday, I did 8 lessons already, so I'm already ahead. I've spent, let's see, view the timeline. What is this? Initial knowledge check. 0 topics mastered, completed December 9th. So December 9th is basically when I started. Alright, and I did 1 topic towards the end. And then you can see right here on December 23rd, I did a lot of more topics right here. This says out of 25, so. And then 8 here. Learn topics, 8 here, and 8 there. Alright, and then let's go home. That was the timeline. This is the Aleks Pi. Let's see, A, I've got 11% done, and on B, I got 7%, and then we started on graphs and functions. We got 1% done. So we're working on these 2 right here. All right. So it slowly like starts giving more questions. Like once you learn a certain subject in review, then you'll start learning a little bit more that is necessary for you to actually start on the next pie, on the next section of pie, or slice of this pie, and so on. And that's how it works. And you'll slowly get the whole pie filled up, and you'll slowly get to 681 topics completed. Right here it says I have 17 out of 681 topics done. All right, 17 learned, 664 remaining. We still not have done a knowledge check, so the mastered is still 0. Once we do get a knowledge check, and then I'm not gonna like have any what's it called, like it's like a quiz or an exam, right? You do it, you get the grade for it. Whatever you get incorrect, I'm gonna have to redo those until I get those questions correctly on the knowledge check. That's how the mastered fucking number goes up. And we have to master all 681 topics. That's the goal. Here's the detail for each one, right? Ready to learn, learned, mastered. All right, that's it. All right, you guys, that's gonna be it. Subscribe, follow. I'm on Twitch, Kick, Live. I do live on all of them at the same time, but the videos, if they get deleted on off of Kick and Twitch, you'll find it on YouTube and Rumble. That's all I have for you guys. Description down below has all the links to all the other channels, and make sure you leave some comments down below as well. Now, remember, likes or dislikes. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.